winning be the only thing they know you for. And then everything changes like you Okafor. And you playing your role and keeping hold of what they hold you on. Remind them what they know until they know you gone. Like do believe it.
What's up, guys? This is the Eric Barber here, and I am here with underground hip-hop legend Skyzoo. He just tore the house down at Dilla World. Yeah. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good to be out here in Detroit. You know what I mean? It's always a good time when I'm out here, and when the cause is Dilla and Dilla World and, you know, representing the legacy and continuing that going, I'm all for it.
I love it, dude. And, you know, this is Dilla World. You know, you just touched on what he meant to you. Yeah. But, you know, could you speak a little bit more on, like, you know, how impactful he's been for, you know, this whole community? Oh,
without a doubt. You know, me being from New York, just getting that energy and that vibe of what he did for Detroit and what he does from afar, you know, what he was doing when he was alive, me being a fan ever since, what, like 99, 2000, or, you know, whenever that was, way back, and just continuing that going. And then, you know, when you look at the innovation of sound, the innovation of how you hear music, how you create music, what he did on a level that people are trying to study and, you know, trying to, you know, figure out the science and the math behind. And the dopest thing about it is that as scientific as it was and as mathematical as it may have seemed, it all was just a feeling for him. No doubt. It all was just a swing and a feeling for him. I don't think he put that much thought into it. You know what I mean? That's what made him so great. I don't think it was, yo, I want to defy physics with my sound. It was like, I'm gonna just be better than everybody. And what he was doing, the feeling and the soul in it and the swing in it from what he was raised on and what he grew up on and the God-given talent that he had, made it something that defied physics and science and math, which is so wild.
Okay, no doubt, man. Is that something that you try to emulate with your own craft, or?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You know, I always tell people, me as an MC, as a lyricist, I take from him sonically his pocket, his bounce, where he was and how he created, and I incorporate that to my approach lyrically, you know? So if you can take something production-wise and put it in the vocal element, it's a whole different experience.
No doubt. And, you know, you're in Detroit right now, and you're originally from New York, but you've chopped it up with some Detroit legends, right? Guilty, Apollo Brown.
Yeah, those my guys, man.
Yeah, who have been your favorite people to work with from Detroit, and what do you think is different with the Detroit sound?
Oh, man, you know, my brother Apollo Brown, that's like family. You know, we did an incredible album, The Easy Truth, back in 2016. We still tour that album and run around with that album as if it just came out yesterday because the response was that large. Yeah. My bro Guilty Simpson, of course, my bro Black Milk, shout out to my man Black. It's a lot of Elzhi, you know, it's a lot, man, and I've been embraced by the Detroit community, even though I'm from New York, born and raised. You know, there's a synergy there, and it's very similar and familiar with one another. And it's always dope when I work with my Detroit family.
I love that, dude. And I can tell, like, people embrace you. Yeah. Because even yesterday, there's another Dilla World thing. People were, like, hyping you up like you are a Detroiter, man. Right. It's dope. I love it.
Man, it's an honor because, you know, I'm all about the inner city. My music represents the inner city. My music represents the fabric of the people and the fabric of the cities, whether it's New York or Detroit or L.A. or Philly or D.C. Or you go down the gauntlet of it all. And, you know, when the reception is there like that, that means it's connecting.
Yeah, for sure, man. And, you know, one thing that you're a little, like, public about, right, is that you're also a ghostwriter. Even you got some bars about ghostwriting.
Absolutely.
Right? So where did that really start for you?
Oh, man, you know, as an MC and as a writer and a lyricist, you always feel like you can write for other people. If you're really nice at what you do and if you love the craft, you always feel like if the opportunity was there, you could help other people out with their work. Yeah. And it came through my man Elzhi. Shout out to my brother Elzhi, one of my closest friends and family in the industry, of course. And he was working with some people years ago. Man, I feel like it was about 10 years ago. He was working with some people out of town, and he came back to New York. He was like, man, next time I go, you got to come with me, man, because they need writers. And the next time, like a month later, when he went out, I went with him. He brought me in the studio with some people, some larger than life names that I can't say, but everybody walking around the city would know these names if I said them. Yeah. And I just started writing, and it was a fuse that just, you know, lit off, and that was it. And that was 10 years ago. And for 10 years now, my side profession is as a ghostwriter.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. And I know you probably can't name any names, right? But if we were to say, like, you know, what percentage of rappers you hear on the radio use ghostwriters.
Right.
What would you kind of say that is?
Oh man, I would say 25% and up. 25% and up.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say. I wouldn't say half, but I'd say around 25% or so. There's a good amount, you know. But listen, you know, we're here as writers to help whoever need it. I love the idea of people needing ghostwriters because that keeps me busy. You know what I mean? So, you know, but but I've been blessed with that as a moonlighting job, for lack of a better term, and it's cool.
That's cool. And I got a question for you about like how you approach the craft. Like, let's say, you know, obviously, given your current work, right? It's very heavy on the lyricism. I feel like you have a certain cadence and flow to it.
Yep.
Like, I'm just throwing out there, like,
If I'm
let's
writing for somebody else who's not like that, how do I approach it, right?
yeah, like let's say Lil Pump or somebody where it's a
Right.
lot more simple or
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if I'm writing for people who don't sound like me and don't approach music the way I do, so I got to be able to do that, right? Like, if you're really a great chef, just because you make soul food all day, if somebody asks you to whip up something Italian, you can probably do it if you're a great all-around chef. So it's the same thing, right? Like, I look at ghostwriting as having a tailor shop.
Yep.
And the way it works is you may come in to my tailor shop and say, hey man, I know you sew and you do all the stuff with the custom made suits.
Yep.
I want a yellow suit with purple stripes and brown polka dots.
Yep.
I may look and be like, I would never in my life wear that.
Sure.
But if that's what you want, I'll whip up the best yellow, purple, and brown suit you ever had. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with ghostwriting, where somebody may come to me and want a certain type of record that I'm not known for making as Skyzoo, but it's like, okay, I got you, you know, because I'm providing a service as if I was a tailor knitting, you know, sewing you a suit. It's like, all right, I would never make a record on this type of time, but this is for you, and this is a work for hire, and this is a job, and this is a business, and you're a client. Let me put this suit together for you. And that's the way it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. And if I recall, in your performance, you said your last project went number one on the hip hop Billboard.
Album in the country, yeah.
Wow.
The Mind of a Saint. The Mind of a Saint, my last joint.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I mean, that's a great joint for one, and to some degree it sells itself, right? But I feel like to get number one, I feel like there needs to be some kind of marketing approach there, right?
Man, it was all organic.
Really?
We did nothing outside of the norm. There was no TikTok push. There was no Facebook ads. I don't even know how to do that. It was all organic. My career has always been all organic. It's always been put the music out, let the people know it's out there, and the people come and gravitate towards it because they trust and believe in it. They know I've been releasing projects, mixtapes, EPs, albums since 2006. And they know if I see Skyzoo's name on it, I'm good. I don't have to worry about what he's cooking over there. I know it's right.
Love it, dude.
Yeah.
And, you know, speaking of the 2006, I mean, you kind of came up in the mixtape era, right?
Absolutely.
And then, you know, we kind of entered the streaming era.
Yep.
Now some people say we're in the TikTok era, social media era. Has that affected how you approach the music at all, the change of hip-hop?
For me, creatively, not at all, because my base is my base. Yep. You know, if you go to a soul food restaurant every day and they're known for having the best soul food in the world, and you can depend on that, and then one day you go there and the whole menu has been changed to Mexican food, you may never go to that restaurant again because you're like, yo, I depend on this. I've been coming here my whole life for soul food. I like Mexican food, but I come here for soul food. If I wanted Mexican food, I would have went to the place around the corner. I come here for soul food, and you just let me down. That's how you got to look at it. With anything in the arts and anything that you do as far as creating art and selling it to a people, doesn't mean that you can't grow and expand. It just means you have to be cognizant of who your base is. So I'm always going to deliver the soul food. You never got to walk in my restaurant and get something you didn't expect.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing that I do feel like has been a big change since 2006 was, you know, in 2006, you're relatively, you know, starting up. But now if I were to go on Reddit or Instagram, you're a lot of people's like favorite rapper, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sure it's a huge weight. I mean, it's not even uncommon for you to be in a lot of these top 5, top 10 lists all time. Does that, you know, how's that feel for you? But also, you know, how's that affect your approach to making music?
Well, it's a blessing hearing all that. It's a blessing being looked at in that regard. You know, when you're coming up, that's what you want. If you're really in this for the right reasons, when you start picking up a pen and a pad, you want people to say, yo, he's one of the greatest, she's one of the greatest. Like, that's a part of the end goal, you know. And as far as my approach, I know that certain things are expected of me. You know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. There's certain responsibilities lyrically, musically, sonically, conceptually that I have to continue to be aware of, but it's nothing that I don't want to do. These are all things that I want to do, right? It's not like, oh my God, I got to go back in here and do this and I don't feel like it. No, I want to continue to push myself lyrically, sonically, conceptually, you know, all of that. So it's a blessing and an honor, man. And I wear it proud. I wear that badge on my sleeve proud. I'm ready to rock and roll all the time.
No doubt. Love it, dude. Yeah. And we're getting close to wrapping up the interview. I know it's kind of cold for us, but yeah, man. But I also noticed, you know, you've always been in tune with a lot of the really great groups, acts out there. Yeah. And one in particular that you've become so well known with is Griselda, right? Yeah. You know, what's kind of your relationship between you and the Griselda guys?
Oh man, those are my brothers. Those are my brothers, man. I met Wes and Khan and Benny and all those guys, and Derringer and, you know, Monk and you know, Mock and all of them. I met those guys in 2014. Yep. And Wes and I did a record called Rolex. And it just snowballed from there. You know, we did a record called Rolex. Derringer gave me a copy of a CD called Hitler Wears Hermes 2. And man, like, no, this was early days. Nobody knew them. Nobody was up on them yet. And Derringer gave me this CD when we was in the studio making Rolex. And when I got back to New York, man, I played the hell out of that CD for like a whole day straight. And I called Wes and I said, man, you make beautiful music, brother. Whatever you need from me, I'm here. And that turned into family. Now we at each other's houses for birthday dinners with each other's, you know, moms and grandmoms and baby showers and all that. Like, it's family. Like, I go to his house and there's 5 people there. It's not some big it's like, yo, nah, only the family's here and me and my family are there. You know, so it became family, you know. Khan, Benny, all of them guys, the same thing. You know, those are my guys, man. And I saw it in the beginning. I saw it early. I knew. I was like, yo, this is going to be something. Like, this is really going to be something. And I was overwhelmingly right.
You're right.
You know, and
undoubtedly so.
But to this day, that's family. Whatever I need from them, whatever they need from me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And ever since, you know, I told people that I'm doing this interview, I mean, everyone wants to know, I mean, when's your next project, you know?
Yeah, The Mind of a Saint Deluxe is coming out in a couple weeks. Okay. You know, by the time this interview drops, it may be out, depending on when you drop. The Mind of a Saint Deluxe, where there's 7 new records, 40 minutes of new music, wrapping up season 6 of Snowfall, just wrapping up Franklin Saint's journey and where he went with it. And we won't do the spoiler alert, but if you know the story, you know how that went. So Saint had to talk about it. So we doing that. I got some other projects in the works that should be coming out before the end of the year. And I'm just excited to just, you know, be back, you know what I mean, to a new year and new music and getting this Mind of a Saint re-released with my guys, the other guys, those my brothers, man. They did all the production on the album, and you know, we're gonna get this one done and keep rolling to the next.
Nice. And I know you just did you're coming off the heels of a tour with United Grind as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I heard that one was fire as well. You got any more plans for touring?
Oh yeah, I'm always down to tour. You know, as an independent artist, touring is a major part of your income, you know, so, and as well as being able to connect with the people, as well as being able to meet people like yourself. If I didn't come out here this weekend, we're not doing this interview, you know, so situations like that make it where you can connect with people and get the story out there to the fans and the relatability and, you know, do good things. So yeah, more touring this year for sure.
Okay, I love that, dude. And if you have any kind of final positive message for anyone who may be watching this.
Yeah. Man, do it for the love. Whatever you do it for the love. Anything in the arts, anything in the creative space, music, fashion, film, visual art, anything, whatever it is, because the love has to come from it in order for it to be great and in order for you to succeed. There's going to be a lot of days where you feel like you don't want to do this no more because of the way the business side of the art is run. But the love will push you through it and make that end goal worth it. So do it for the love.
Love it. Well, all right, guys, that's Skyzoo. Absolute underground hip-hop legend. All of his links will be down in the description below. Appreciate it, man.
Peace
no
and
doubt.
love, you know it. Absolutely.
Likewise, bro.